Good evening, everyone. My name is Shanae Jones, and this is KNKY, which stands for Know the New Kinky You. And this is a platform where we discuss sex and sexuality in a positive way. You know, it's something that most of us experience, and we have, fairly positive experiences with it. But as evolving folk, we always have room for improvement. So this is where it is that I kind of chime in and want to talk to you about things that perhaps matter to you because they matter to me. And if there are ever things that you want to talk about, please feel free to DM me, or as topic subjects for the weekly shows, or things that you may want to have personal conversations with. Let me know. So I want to just, as a disclaimer, let you know that I'm doing my best to provide you with a quality experience. And I know that, Instagram and YouTube and Facebook are full of people that are very experienced with high quality videos, and I am doing my best. I bought a ring light, I bought a microphone, I bought a DSLR camera, I bought a little webcam camera, but I can't seem to get these things to work right. So if there's anybody out there watching that knows about this stuff, please feel free to DM me to help me, because I can't figure it out. But in the meantime, let's talk about sex. We're tonight talking about the differences in physical and emotional chemistry. And when we're talking about chemistry, I want to first start talking about compatibility. The thing that people in relationships take for granted the most is compatibility first, and then chemistry. So when we're talking about compatibility speaks to whether or not people share the same values and whether or not they are on the same page with life choices. So when we have these conversations, we first meet people, we're very in tune to put out our representative. We want to put our best person first. And, that's not always the case, because eventually our true selves always kind of ring true at some point. So we can't always hide it. So when we are having this conversation, when we're talking about compatibility, we have to be honest about the things that we like, that we're interested in. So for instance, it's really at the core of who we are and what we believe in. So if you are an atheist and then you meet someone who is a devout Christian, there is an incompatibility there that will not exceed your expectations in your relationship, right? Because your core values are not the same. Whether they find each other attractive, whether they like things about each other, sure, fine, whatever. But your core values are not the same. So compatibility in the long term will not get you what it is that you're expecting. So what you have to consider is the difference between a long-term goal and a short-term goal in a relationship. When we're talking sexual compatibility, right? Because this is KNKY, we're here to talk about sex. Sexual compatibility is a whole different game. You have to be communicative. You have to understand what people like. So if you're into certain things, if you like certain things, you have to be open to having those conversations. You have to be open to letting that significant partner know what it is that you are into. So for instance, do you both enjoy role play? Dressing up, playing the character, being that person that is perhaps not you all the time, but you like to be sometimes. Are you both into that? Do you both get off on anal sex or oral sex? When you have sexual incompatibility, it can be very destructive for your relationship. So for instance, if you have somebody who is sexually assertive, so take women. And I love the song by the young lady whose name I can't remember, but you know, girls can never request sex, and we can't ever get it the way we want. Women should be able to request sex and get the type of sex that they want, but in a lot of instances we aren't comfortable with that initiation, and there are some men who are not comfortable with women initiating sex. So what happens is she suppresses her desires to, oh, I want to fuck right now, or I want to have, you know, this relationship type right now. Whether I'm going to go into it, I want to be straight, I want to be bisexual, I want to have a poly relationship, I want to do whatever it is. And then, you know, because of dynamics, because of what it is that she thinks people will think about her, you know, women shy away from expressing their sexual needs. And you know, that's unfortunate for women and the population in general. But if that woman's needs is incompatible with the person that she's with, you know, it will turn into a situation where she is unhappy, where perhaps he is unhappy, and we'll have to figure it out, right? So compatibility goes about values, it goes about beliefs. It's all about what it is that you know and want, and what will drive the course of the relationship long term. Now when it comes to chemistry, we're talking about how well you connect together. So there is a physical chemistry, because again, we're here to talk about sex. You know, physical chemistry is really about knowing each other's bodies and knowing what will make that person tick. You know, is it really knowing that if you lick the side of their neck, or if they have a certain spot that kind of works for them, you know, it's that back and forth that you have with a person. It's being able to create a certain charge that you have that says, you know what, perhaps, and if you have ever watched me, you've heard me talk about sexual response cycle. I'm not going to talk about it tonight, but go back to previous videos. Sexual response cycle, we have moments where we're dormant, where we're not even thinking about sex, and the next thing you know, I want it, I need to have it now. Ariana Grande, if I see it, I want it now. Same type of thing. When you are able to create that charge, and the metaphor that I like to use when we're talking about physical chemistry is a lock and a key. So, you know, every key doesn't fit every lock. So when you have that key that goes into that lock and can kind of twist it around and make it so that it is a memorable moment, then you're creating an experience. You know what I'm saying? So what I want everybody to at least walk away with is the fact that we have opportunities to create physical chemistry, but if it's not balanced with emotional chemistry, we're really not going to get the experience that we want. So if you have that physical connection with somebody, you really have to keep in tow with the emotional balance of it. So when we're talking about emotional chemistry, it's really like just enjoying that person's company, making sure that you are in tune with how they're feeling, what they want, you know, making sure that all of the things that they could possibly want or desire as far as it's in your control can happen. It's about being considerate, and it's about being supportive, and it's also about being vulnerable. You know, making sure that you are able to just be aware of what that person is perhaps feeling or going through. So that chemistry is really at not just a superficial level, like, oh, they're cute, I think they're attractive. No, physical chemistry is about a bonding moment that you have with that person, where you are physically connected, or you are anticipating a physical connection because of the things that you've experienced together. plus the emotional chemistry, because you know that person has your back. And if that's something that is not necessarily a strong suit in your relationship and yet all else as well, this is where you have the opportunity to talk to someone like me, who is a certified sex coach through Sex Coach University, who wants to make sure that, you know, the world is a better place through sex. You know, we have great opportunities to have these conversations. And, you know, I get that sex is not something that everybody is comfortable with talking about. And it's not necessarily, even if it's not in a form like this, where you want to comment, but I hope that you do. I hope that you comment. I hope that you post. I hope that you share. If you are not in that position, feel free to send me a DM and I will help to address your specific questions. And I always offer free consultations for, you know, new clients who are willing to step out there and say, hey, there are things that I want to talk about, that there are things that I want to do. So with that, please feel free to follow me across all social media. Everything is at DOYOUKNKY, which stands for Do You Know the New Kinky You. Visit the website, YouTube, subscribe. Facebook is, we do live at 9:30. We do the Instagram at 10 o'clock on Wednesdays. I appreciate you and all that you do, and I hope that you guys have a very great week. And last plug is, if anybody is a audio-visual person and knows how to use this equipment and OBS and all this other stuff, please let me know, because I want to give you a great visual experience and audible experience, and I am currently unable to. So, appreciate you. Have a good evening.